And so, how is the lighting now? How does it look when I look into the camera, which is up there, and my screen is, yeah, camera there, screen here. A bit odd, but basically, I'm not looking directly at you, I'm looking at the screen. Well, anyway, the news is I wrote a song with AI, and I'm getting started on a book. Um, uh, oh gosh, it's really intriguing considering that my 5 books that I have on Amazon by Tinger Wyndham, that's me, are the foundational books upon which I wrote about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, letting you know that the apocalypse has already happened and we're in the Battle of Armageddon, and which relates to the topics I am bringing up with these personalities, these top personalities, tech moguls, trillionaires, billionaires, presidents, political supporters, such as Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, George Soros, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Larry Fink, Tim Cook, and Epstein even gets on that list. Wouldn't you? Would you? Yes, or would you no? Find that funny that they were all related to Epstein, but beyond what you think the ultimate insider uh, look might be is not necessarily Epstein or Rothschilds or, you know, powerful families, globalists, etc. It's the people I write about in my 5 books available on Amazon. I called it the series Documenting Demons. It starts with Spock Shock. That's Spock Shock. The second one, and this one is about the devil. You might want to start with it first. Oh. This one's called X-Files, The Devil's Diary Hidden in a TV Show. Now, you better believe it. That show, consisting of 217 episodes, the longest running, most highest grossing television series of all time, is in no uncertain terms the litanies of Satan. I pointed out in my book. I document everything that you can know about that book, and I use what I know and what I see in the television show The X-Files, so you can walk along with me through it, because I am not the knower of these things. I just can. They show messages, they say things, and they speak to people who know the language, and I happen to know the language. I'm just the anomaly that's the good guy that knows this transcendental knowledge about these people directly. And, well, truth doesn't change. Unfortunately, the litanies of Satan, or X-Files, The Devil's Diary Hidden in a TV Show, is one of them. Anyway, moving right along, my other book is good gracious, Antichrist Apologist. This book, a lot of people might want to start with it first, but I recommend that you absolutely do not. You cannot understand the Antichrist unless you first understand the devil. And what what does the Rolling Stones say? Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. And guess what? I guessed his name. He's got Boyd. Boyd is. Oh, I just want to tell you, but it's better if you read the book and it comes over you slowly, and I document it, and instead of shocking you, uh, which is Spock's method. That's why I named the book Spock Shock. That's his method. I don't shock. I hop and skip along with you, and I read and watch and see the same things you do, and I just document all the litanies of Satan in X Files. Then you can move along to this book. This is a large picture book that I titled NASA Hoax. There's some very interesting pictures in it. This one, NASA Hubble astrophotography found forcing us to worship the image of the beast. In addition to an astrophotography in a photograph I found in NASA, it's all online, NASA astrophotography, I found a photo of the devil, Spock, and the Grim Reaper. Who's to say whether it's faked or real? I don't know. I called it NASA hoax, but my point about that book was to bring up there's a list of things here, right? And NASA hoax is about false idols, not false idols, false prophets, those who say they are Jesus Christ and are not. False prophets, false idols, false fake Jesus sayers and stuff. So, my point being that I document the fact that we've gone through all these steps, and it culminated in 9/11 and the Battle of Armageddon is we're already in it. It was started on September 11th, 2001, and ever since then, we've all been in the middle of it. So my point being is that I'm getting to these moguls, CEOs, Peter Thiel, Palantir, and I did write a song. It's already written. I can't wait to play it for you. I did it with AI. Lots of fun. It's based on or inspired by, of course. I don't have the album here. Good gracious, I have them all. The album Diamond Dogs by David Bowie. Yes, it was inspired by that. The song 1984, because I feel very, very, what is the word? Very worried. I don't like to be worried, but I'm completely convinced that Palantir and all its surveillance is no different than George Orwell's Big Brother. And Big Brother is a large monitoring television set. Wherever you go, you are seen, you are surveyed, and apparently, if you've ever read the book or even watched the movie at the end of it, a figure named Brian admits he wrote the book that Winston Smith got and thought he was reading the secret behind the book and thought he was finding a way out when in fact the solution was always written by Brian, who invented Big Brother. So he invented the problem and was also the solution and knew that people would be curious to escape. And so when they did, knew where and how they would try and do it. And so he wrote a book behind the pages of a book. So when Winston Smith read those pages behind the superficial pages of the book, he was actually just falling into a trap. Anyway, it all comes down to 1984. Would you like to hear the song? Like I said, okay, so it's time to try and play the song. I hope I can do it. Oh my goodness, what if I need another microphone? Oh, I just happen to have a speaker here because the microphone I'm speaking to you on is connected to the camera. If I play the song on the computer, it'll come out the computer speakers. Okay, I'm just confused. That's all. All right, let's go here. And okay, can't hear a thing.
Someday they won't let you, now you must agree to sign up for a cell phone and national 5G. They'll put a barcode on your breath and a wire in your sleeve. Because of 20,000 satellites orbiting out in space, spinning like silver spiders, rewriting the human race. Beware the Palantir, 1984.
Mono is okay.
As they are speeding up and the changes will cost plenty. You sold your soul for a shiny upgrade in 2023. You've looked into the crystal ball and found nothing to see. But you can watch it all on TV. Watch it on TV. Watch the world burn in high definition. 1984. They stole you during dreamy nights and told you it was temporary. They mapped your eyelids while you slept, an algorithmic burglary. But now the server towers are tracking you and me. They know your pulse, they know your panic, they got the history. So now you must agree, our freedom's on TV. Palantir TV. Palantir TV. Subliminal, digital, clinical misery. Palantir TV. Palantir TV. Palantir, you won't remember me. I watch you when you're born, and all you think and see. I split your brain in two, and erase all this I do. I'll leave a blank static space where your spirit used to be. You'll never remember me. You'll never remember me.
Okay. That was the male voice one. Is it different from the female voiced one I have? Let's find out. I think the lyrics. Go, girl.
Someday they won't let you. Now you must agree to sign up for a cell phone and national 5G. They'll put a barcode on your breath and a wire in your sleeve. 20,000 satellites orbiting out in space. Spinning like silver spiders, rewriting one human race. Beware the Palantir 1984. The times they are speeding up and the changes will cost plenty. You sold your soul for a shiny upgrade in 2023. You looked into the crystal ball and found nothing to see. But you can watch it all on TV. Watch it on TV. Watch the world burn in high definition. 1984. They saw you during dreamy nights and told you it was temporary. They mapped your eyelids while you slept in algorithmic burglary. But now the server towers are tracking you and me. They know your pulse, they know your panic. They bought the history. So now you must agree. Our freedom's on TV. TV. Subliminal digital. Clinical misery. Palatine TV. Palatine TV. Until you won't remember me. I watch you when you're born and all you think and see. I split your brain in two and erase all this I do. I leave a blank static space where your spirit used to be. You'll never remember me. You'll never remember me. Who could ask for more? You can't ask for more. Because you don't even know. Volunteer, the eye in the clouds, the ghost in the ear. Volunteer.
Ooh, the girl one I think might be better. I think they're different lyrics. Well, I promised you my song. Boy, what fun it is to compose songs with AI. Gee, that was fun. Okay. I wrote basically which page did I start on? Where was I? Palantir picture. That's book stuff. Beware the Palantir. Beware of 1984. I guess wind rolls when it got our phones and 5G towers, EV cars and 200,000 satellites. Someday they won't let you, so why don't you agree? The times they are speeding up and the change will cost plenty. You looked into the crystal ball and found nothing there to see, but you can watch TV. But you can watch TV. Palantir, Palantir, remember me. I watch you. When you were born, I know all that you see, know all that you do. I split your brain in two and erase all that's what I do. I am Palantir, I am Palantir. Oh, my melody's not going too great, but yeah, they stole you during dreamy nights, told it was temporary, but no more. But now more. Now we're all enrolled in the server tower humming, tracking you and me. Now you must agree, our freedom's on TV. The times they are speeding up and changes cost a hefty fee. We looked into the crystal ball and found there's nothing to see, but Palantir can watch us all looking at you and only find they cannot see. Palantir TV, Palantir TV, Palantir. You won't remember me. I wrote. I'm just repeating myself. Anyway, I wrote half the stuff. Gave the prompt to AI, and they came up with that chicka chicka wow wow. Man, the way they described what that was, said put this in, write your verse, do that. Well, what a lot of fun that was. Anyway, switching from song to book, and my lovely song, Palantir to 1984. Palantir TV. We all know in the movie or book 1984 by George Orwell that there was Big Brother was always watching you, and there was always a screen or a TV, like a flock camera. But depicted in the movie, it was always quite a large screen. And don't forget, 15 minutes of hate. Ah! Wow, we got 15-minute cities coming. What do you think? Think people are going to hate 15-minute cities? Or hate Big Brother? Oh, no, you're not supposed to hate Big Brother. 15 minutes of hate. That's supposed to be 15 minutes of hate of Oceania or whoever we're at war with. And you're at war with whoever Big Brother says you're at war with. Although that could change at any time. 1984 was one of the first books I ever read. I was somewhere in high school, and I read what they told me to read, and of course I just memorized it and then tried to pass the test. And then on the list of reading was this book I had to read called 1984, and I picked it up, and I went from not being able to read anything to exactly being able to read the first page of 1984. It said, the problem is communication. You can't talk. You don't know how to think. You don't know what to say because we are in charge of what you say and how you think. and this is all by design, and it's a factory, and and when I was reading that somebody was controlling what I say and how I say, and if I can read and if I can comprehend and understand, and you know, and how teaching is done wrong. You're taught only one thing, is how to love Big Brother. You know, uh, that's the goal, and it's all there on the first page. Man, I went from complete dum dum to this is the first book I have ever read that the first page grabbed me and communicated to me and told me that the problem was communication. Best book ever for me, anyway. Anyway, so seeing as we're getting into big time surveillance with Palantir by Peter Thiel being the big surveillance uh, giant tech and data uh, nationwide, if not global. Um, I don't know how they can go global. I mean, they got Elon Musk put up 20 or 200,000 satellites in space. These guys work together. Anyway, I'm working on a book. Peter Thiel and Elon Musk did create PayPal together. And why shouldn't they still be working together? Peter Thiel, and same as Elon Musk, maybe a little different here and there, but they come from their philosophy comes from basically this. I'll say it in 3 words. A lot of people will go miles, but I'll give it to you in 3 words. Stagnation versus acceleration. In other words, they don't want stagnation, they want acceleration. They want to accelerate the human race. You name the topic, they want to accelerate it. This is this is a philosophy by someone named Nick Land. Nick Land, English philosopher best known for popularizing the ideology of accelerationism. Accelerationism. Oh my. Anyway, his accelerationism it basically is a new religion. Of course, he's never mentions God, an atheist, assumably. But he believes in welding together a wide variety of sources such as futurism, technoscience, philosophy, mysticism, numerology, complexity theory. I highlighted that, but I'm going to put a red circle around that one. Just call it something I know about The Secret of the Labyrinth, which I do. Please read Spock Shock. Anyway, and science fiction, among others. So, so forget religion and get into all these other things that will lead you away from God and goodness. And for some reason, this abominable philosophy, godless, although has a lot of concepts. Why, look here. It says concepts. Concepts, accelerationism, occult, cybernetics, incorporating Kabbalah and numerology, All right, here goes my red pen again. I'm going to circle Kabbalah. Kabbalah. Again, read my book, Spock Shock. Let me show it to you again. You read my book, Spock Shock, you'll find out Kabbalah, you know that drawing of the Kabbalah, the stations. Well, there's a album called Station to Station, and I just call it Station to 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 Station, because as a survivor of the labyrinth, which this guy put me into, I can tell you for a fact, labyrinth is just code for Kabbalah, which is just code for a station, a station, a station, a station, a station, a station, a station. And believe me, I'm tired of it enough because I lived it. Okay, so Kabbalah. Well, you want to throw everybody into Kabbalah or station to station, just messing around, ping ponging around like a, not ping pong. Ping pong, that's that China's table tennis. I mean, pinball. Ping ponging, pinballing, or what's a good word for ricocheting around a pinball machine and hurting and hitting and clanging and noise. That's Kabbalah station to station to me. You want to throw everybody into this ridiculous, godless complexity theory, mysticism, numerology, Kabbalah and numerology. Well, guess what he calls it? Yes, let me remind you of his name again. All this philosophy that Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, oh, for goodness sake, George Soros, Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Tim Cook, Epstein, Donald Trump, big tech CEO, moguls, and all that stuff. Come on, Elon, let's blast out into outer space. Remember, this is all from a guy's philosophy. His name is Nick Land. Nick. Anyone named Nick, you're on my shit list. Anyway, Nick, if that really is your name. All this is supposed to culminate into what is called, here we go. Oh boy. Here it is. Not very good at this. Dark enlightenment. Can you imagine dark enlightenment? And the mascara in my fingernail. Sorry about that. Dark cuticle. Having nothing to do with dark enlightenment. Dark enlightenment, I'll read here, also known as the neo-reactionary movement, NRX. They actually put a, you can look this up on Twitter X, and it says NRX. Why? I don't know. Dark enlightenment should be neo-reactionary movement. Why dark enlightenment, also known as neo-reactionary movement, should be is that an anachronism? Why should that be an anachronism? Capital N, capital R, lowercase x. Anyway, which opposes egalitarianism and democracy. And according to reporter Jillian Matthews Land, this guy, Nick Land, believes democracy restricts accountability and freedom. There's another article out there that says he believes democracy cannot coexist with freedom? Anyway, I've forgotten. But anyway, here it quotes, in case I'm off a little bit sometimes. Here we go. I underlined it. Right here. Democracy restricts accountability and freedom. That's Land for you. Nick Land. His dark enlightenment work also accelerates to accelerationism. His views, democratic and egalitarian policies, is only delaying acceleration and the techno-capital singularity. Thus, he prefers capitalist monarchies to pursue long-term technological process, as he believes democracy focuses on short-term public interest. Blah, 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 essays, principles, foundations. I'm not here to read this to you out loud. I'm just telling you. He's got a lot of other stuff having to do with hyper racism. Now, hyper racism, this is connected to, oh gosh, what do they call it? Eugenics, scientific racism, and eugenics. If you're not familiar with eugenics, you might want to look up Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein believed he should seed the whole world with his seed. That's eugenics, getting rid of unwanted persons. And depending on who the persons are in power that say, we are the wanted people and those people over there are the unwanted people, well, that's eugenics. Eugenics are it's a supremacist, and they're willing to get rid of the people they don't want. That's eugenics. So, but that's easiest way to understand eugenics is say dog breeding, but for people. We only want certain breeds for people, and other breeds we don't want. Although kickapoos and mixed breeds of dogs can be awfully cute. They are egalitarians as such. Anyway, that Nick Land dude is the influence of especially Peter Thiel, who, in case you've forgotten, gave millions of dollars to Mark Zuckerberg so that he would win his case against the founder of Facebook, and so it now belongs to Mark Zuckerberg. George Soros, he has a bunch of money to give away to well, who can say exactly? But we know Peter Thiel gave money to Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and let's go Elon Musk. Elon Musk, I found to be very interesting. Thiel is more like the he's weaponizing the fear of Armageddon. Take my word for it. I am Tina Wyndham. I'm telling you, Armageddon has already happened. We're already in it. And Thiel, is weaponizing the fear of Armageddon. I tell you, be not afraid. Christ is the answer. God is the answer. And well, if you're going to watch my channel, Tanger Wyndham, there's no faith here. There is only certainty. I have no faith in God. I am certain of his existence. I know his identity. So, welcome to certainty. So, on to Elon Musk. Let's get back to those a couple of funny references I made to David Bowie, including the song 1984. And why I love it so, because it was the first book that spoke to me. I already told you that. The album is scary. It really is. It's no, well, it certainly isn't top 10. But where Thiel has like philosophy about weaponizing the fear of Armageddon, we have people like Musk who feel compelled for unknown reasons to build rockets and try and get back to the planet he came from. Do you really believe he's trying to migrate off of planet Earth because it's dying? Because we're running out of water and there's water on Mars? Another David Bowie reference. Is there life on Mars? Well, I should know. And the answer is no, not right now. I'm sitting here telling you, listening to anyone who thinks they're going to build big transports and re-terraform Mars and put human life, I don't know what kind of life he's referring to, but this kind of human life transplanted onto Mars? Dude, we already did that. We're here. Why go back there? In other words, long story short, Musk is insane. Now, let me explain the difference between insane and crazy. But let's start with insane first, because after all, I am bringing up the Peter Thiel and Elon Musk Association. Together they created PayPal, which was essentially the first crypto coin, which had no oversight by banks, paid no taxes, and they got bought out, taken over, and the government now runs everything. You have to pay tax on your purchases on eBay, do you not? Does anyone remember when you didn't have to pay tax when you purchased something on eBay? Do you remember using PayPal, which was cryptocurrency? It was cryptocurrency before you knew the term cryptocurrency or before there was Bitcoin. Anyway, they did it. Peter Thiel and Elon Musk. Now, so, well, that's me and my David Bowie references. They just won't stop. I'm the girl with the mousy hair. Is there life on Mars? No, Elon Musk, there's no life on Mars. Why would you want to go there? My favorite first book, the only one I could read because it spoke to me on the first page and communicated that the problem is communication and why you can't talk, think, or know anything. I highly recommend it. David Bowie wrote a song about it. And the album is called Diamond Dogs. And I just love that song I just made with AI called Palantir 1984. Palantir 1984. Palantir. Well, anyway, it came out however it came out. I'll brush it up later. So there we have that. Palantir turned into a Big Brother in 1984. Here's my lyric. Palantir TV, come see, remember me. So anyway, there's David Bowie again, Diamond Dogs album, and we are dovetailing all this into, with all the dudes I've just mentioned, into something you need to know right now. Like I said, I recommend this book of mine, X-Files: The Devil's Diary Hidden in a TV Show. It is the book you should read before you read this book on the Antichrist. I titled it Antichrist Apologist. Find out after you buy it and read it. But for your information, the movie, The Man Who Fell to Earth, gosh, I've forgotten the year on that. 1974 or 5. Starring David Bowie. Yes, The Man Who Fell to Earth. This is not a movie about an alien. I am Tinger Wyndham. I do not speak in faith. I speak in certainty. I know for a fact. I am certain. The movie The Man Who Fell to Earth is not about an alien. It is about an antichrist. The reason they use the word alien to describe, and there's a couple scenes where Candy Clark throws her wig at him and says, "You're an alien!" And he has a scene where he puts on some contact lenses that make his eyes look like reptilian eyes, straight up and down like cat's eyes or reptilian eyes, and he comes out and he looks like an alien, bald, no hair. Whew. Anyway, forget it. He's not an alien. He's the man who fell to earth, and the man who fell to earth is any man who sold their soul to the devil, who becomes alien in that they no longer are subject to the laws of nature like us human beings who have their souls. So that in effect they are aliens, but they are really antichrists. So, they can't, Candy Clark can't throw her wig at him and say, "You're an antichrist," but that's what the character played by David Bowie, whose character's name is Thomas Jerome Newton. He is playing the Antichrist, an Antichrist character. And for you humans who can't handle that yet, go ahead, just say, "Oh, it's a movie about an alien, the man who fell to earth." Well, I had a picture for you here. I wonder if I can bring it up. Oh, I didn't print it, did I? Oh, I didn't print it. Did I print it? Oh, it came out crappy. How do I show it up? How do I bring it up? I can't bring it up. Anyway, oh, that's too bad. I thought I had it. I thought I printed it. But I didn't. Anyway, now you know the movie The Man Who Fell to Earth is a movie that is in no uncertain terms written about an antichrist, a man who has sold his soul to the devil and in so doing no longer subject to the laws of nature and falls to earth. Gravity sometimes yes, gravity sometimes no. He goes back and forth. There's a lot to be said about the movie. Um, if you've ever seen the movie, you will notice at the beginning of the movie he drops down in the middle of nowhere. There's a watcher who watches him, and you can say there are watchers of Antichrist who fall to earth, and they're continuously going back and forth, floating up into space and then falling back down unnoticeably, which is the reason you see the painting by Bruegel in the movie. And that's the photo I wanted to show you. And I thought I printed it out to show you, but apparently not. Anyway, so he hangs out by a stream and he's very thirsty, very interested in water. He gets a cup and sits down, drinks his cup of water, and pulls out a, uh, um, a rope with maybe hundreds of rings on them, like this. Rings. Hundreds of them. Rings. Now, over to Peter Thiel. Oh, I didn't draw a picture. Let me draw a picture. Let me draw a picture of Palantir. Palantir has a symbol, and it looks like this. I'm a terrible drawer. But that's it. It's a ring on a right angle. Should say Palantir. 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 Can you see that? Palantir is the name of the crystal ball that was a crystal ball that was named Palantir by the author J.R. Tolkien from his books The Lord of the Rings. Let me remind you, the Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings. This Palantir, or crystal ball, is a ring. This right angle underneath the ring, well, I've had a theory called the circle in the square. That's me. I've had a theory about the circle in the square since 1989. And you just can't leave squares open, Palantir. Some people say it's a crystal ball resting on its whatever, or a face looking down into a book cracked open, reading. but it's a ring. It's a crystal ball on a that's a 90-degree angle. It's half a square. It's a circle on the half square. Circle on the half shell. Circle on the half 90 degree. Wait, half 90 degree. That's 90 degrees. That's 90. Well, 90, 91, 8 is 360. 360 is the 360 degrees is full circumference, or this 90 degrees is 1 point. It's a 90-degree angle. 90-degree angle, and you'd need you'd need 3 more points. So 360 minus 90. I don't know why I do this. Anyway, what's 36 minus 90? Heck, I don't know. It's fun to figure them out sometimes. 360 minus 90 degrees is 270. But anyway, regardless, a circle is 360 degrees, is it not? I haven't even begun with 360. It all relates to the number 36, which is 666. And if you can't figure out that 666 is 3 sixes or 666, read my book. It's all explained in here as easy as I can make it, with charts. And of course, Fox Mulder. Anyway, so Palantir, the ring is basically representing 360 degrees. That's 36. That's 666. Drop the 0. Who cares? It's all about 36 to these people. The one 90-degree angle. 90-degree angle. 90. 45 is like 90. Square is 490s. 180, 180. Yeah, it's just 90 degrees. Just 190-degree angle. Maybe it's 360 plus 90. I don't know. 5. Oh, well, that's interesting. The Palantir symbol, the circle and the 90 degrees, you had 360 plus 90 is 450 degrees. Is that right? Check my work. 360 degrees plus 190 degree. That's 5. Yep. 450 degrees. 450 degrees. Are we concerned about 450 degrees? Well, we're concerned about the number 45 because the number 45 means left or death. And I've always been interested in the circle and the square. In other words, enclosure, enclosing, boxing, squaring. entrapping the ring, entrapping the ring. Don't let it get loose. But back to The Man Who Fell to Earth, which I told you is a movie, a screenplay, an idea written for the screen, rewritten, known to about everyone involved as to be a movie about the Antichrist. Now, Bowie has a line in the movie where he gives Candy Clark's character, Mary Lou, a ring when he's failed at his space program, and he's kind of falling into terrible alcoholism, and he says it's really the only one thing he has to give. End quote. Another thing about his character, he comes to Earth with advanced technology. He creates a camera that takes photos from a third person point of view, and they develop on site like a Polaroid. He needs hundreds of millions of dollars and uses his superior technology to establish new markets and industry by taking patents. He screws that line up on purpose. And creating and just takes IBM and Polaroid for starters, as a line from the movie. Anyway, and then suddenly he pulls out of all these industries that are making him hundreds of millions of dollars and says to his CEO that we're going to start a space program. And the famous line said back to him was, "You realize, of course, this has virtually no bottom. But did our Antichrist character care at all, one bit, about whatever it took for him to get millions, hundreds of millions of hundreds of millions of hundreds of hundreds of hundreds, if not $1 trillion? Did he care? No. The only thing he cares about is a space program." To which, of course, his CEO said, "You realize, of course, this has virtually no bottom." Well, he's willing to blow it all just to make a spaceship and blast off the face of the earth. Curious, I guess, if there's life on Mars, and to use his superior technology for the real purpose he came here. It wasn't to benefit humanity with, better stereophonic equipment, telephones, cameras, etc., etc. Just to make money so he could make spaceships so he could go back. Because his planet is running out of water. Well, that might just be a scriptural device, but anyway, so enter Elon Musk, and so we shall. In Mr. Newton's life, that's the name of the character in The Man Who Fell to Earth, Thomas Jerome Newton, where I believe Elon Musk to be the real life Mr. Newton, whereas Peter Thiel is more like the philosopher pushing the I can't see what I write here. Pushing the ideology of acceleration of our stagnant world. Anyway, sorry about I write too fast sometimes. I can't read my own writing. But yes, Elon Musk to be the real life Mr. Thomas Jerome Newton from the movie The Man Who Fell to Earth, where Thiel is more like the philosopher pushing the ideology for accelerating our stagnant world. In other words, antichrists have, for unknown how they have it, we don't know, but they have advanced technology inside their person, inside their brain, access to it. They go to it, they get it, they have it, they bring it back. And it's in the form of a ring, which is why Thomas Jerome Newton in the movie The Man Who Fell to Earth said to Candy Clark when he was down and out, and he said he gave it to her and he said, it's the only thing I really have left to give. And it was a ring. That's right. A ring. Just like that. A ring. So, and now we go to Peter Thiel's favorite book, Lord of the Rings. Now, this draws attention to Peter Thiel also being an Antichrist, in addition to Elon Musk, who acts so much like Thomas Jerome Newton in The Man Who Fell to Earth. I'm not seeing cross-eyed, I'm seeing very clear. Somehow, some way, these boys have access to advanced knowledge and come here and bring it and startle our world that they say isn't accelerating fast enough. And then they start pushing the acceleration philosophy by goofball Nick Land pushing the acceleration philosophy. What kind of people want to rush other earthlings, humans on the face of the earth? Push, push, push. Faster, faster, faster. You must accelerate. You must get better. You must get smarter. You must do it now. All without God or a day off. Here it is, accelerationism. These are the words of a godless imbecile who shouldn't be listened to. And I'm sorry I have to explain it to you, but it all fits in with so many things in so many places that are pointing you to the truth. And that philosophy on Fox Mulder's poster, not on Fox Mulder's poster, but the intro to X-Files, every time you see it, just about when the music ends on the intro, there's a little title card that goes up that says, "The truth is out there." You better believe it. The truth is out there. The truth is out there. The truth is out there. It's everywhere. This is the truth. One of the truths I'm going to tell you is to follow David Bowie movies, songs, lyrics like albums like Diamond Dogs 1984. Why did he bother to do that? Didn't sell that many records. But he was passionate, if not almost hysterical, trying to get messages across to you. Anyway, that's why my show is called Messages. It's right here in neon blue sign, but I don't have my encoder hooked up right now, so you can't see me push a button and show you my second camera, which points down this way. Anyway, as for accelerationism, Elon Musk wants to accelerate the space program. Peter Thiel wants to fill you full of fear about the War of Armageddon. He's pushing accelerationism too. He wants it to be the religion. Let me just mention something about something. I didn't research it and I didn't find it, and it may not be able to be found because I think I just heard it on one of hundreds of ancient aliens. Or it was a focus on crop circles. Some people do some very fine work on crop circles, and they are very. Some of them are obvious hoaxes, some are inexplainable. One of them was, I forget what the drawing was. I forget. It wasn't the one that was the face of the alien, or was it? Anyway, or maybe it was. I may be wrong. Sorry. It may have been a piece of something, an artifact left behind, or somebody transcribed a bunch of ones and zeros after. It's coming back to me now. Yes, somebody was. I think it was the one in England, and the guy was still under the spell, and he and some friends on a military base had come across a field of something that made them just go kind of cuckoo. But anyway, he was in a trance or something, and it lasted for a couple of days, and all he could do was write down ones and zeros, and just pages and pages and pages, and other things. Anyway, at one extent, somebody managed to interpret this, and it said basically, humans must advance. Now, you want to take a message. You want to take a message like this from godless, atheists, aliens in spaceships? You think those are Christians in those spaceships? You think those are God's devotees flying around in spaceships and UFOs? What are they doing? Why did they leave that message? Or was it an accident? Or is it their agenda? The human race must advance. Now that's from some deep UFO file. I'll never forget it because I am not an atheist. I believe in God. And there is no advancement without God. There is no advancement. There is no knowledge higher or greater than knowledge of God and divine knowledge. Technological advancement with spaceships and minerals and anti-gravity and machines they can make, and intergalactic travel and interdimensional travel, and any old thing Elon Musk wants to put together and charge me. Well, what's he costing every American by now? $3,000 a year? It's like, I don't want a space program. There's no advancement without God. It's pointless. It's useless. There is no technology that can benefit or do any good for humanity unless there is God first. So, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, you can take your technology and your spaceships, and Thomas Jerome Newton, played by David Bowie in The Man Who Fell to Earth, and he can take all his technology and his drive for building a spaceship and going back to his planet, and all the waste and all the brain smarts and intelligence and tech moguls and brainiacs and super intelligent beings with chips in their head and whatever. They can go off and worship space travel, interdimensional travel, life on Mars, rocket ships, reusable rocket ships. Go and worship all that, you godless ingrates, all you want, but get the blank off of my planet. Dig yourself a hole and put it in it. I didn't say hop in your rocket ship and go get off my planet. I'm more like, you're an antichrist. You're already dead. You might as well be 6 feet under, because how do you kill something that's already dead? I explain that thoroughly in my book, Antichrist Apologist. That which is already dead. The Antichrist, the movie The Man Who Fell to Earth, is about an Antichrist, the Antichrist. Elon Musk acts just like Thomas Jerome Newton from the movie The Man Who Fell to Earth, who just wants to go up and get into outer space. Oh, yeah. That's his motivation. Woo! Yeah. Go to Mars. You're not going to make it, people. There's no getting there. And Peter Thiel, believing in, excuse me, the ring, just like the man who fell to earth, just like Elon Musk, who is like Thomas Jerome Newton. They all believe in the rings. Palantir's symbol for their business. How many times I have to show you? The ring on a what is this? V? 90 degrees? The ring. 360 degrees. 3 6 is 3 sixes. That's 666. Yes, I'm tying it all into the Antichrist. It's a book I recommend you read, but not until after you read. Again, very important. X-Files, The Devil's Diary, hidden in a TV show. This is literally the litanies of Satan, because it is my personal experience to know that the devil was in Southern California coaching Chris Carter to write what? Gave him ideas of what to write for some episodes. Some of them are absolute shockers. One of them in particular. And then, of course, my first book, Spock Shock, I had to write it. The first one's really X-Files, but my personal story, I had to start with Spock Shock because the Labyrinth happened to me and began when I was 13. The Southern California and running into the devil didn't happen until 1987. So that's why I wrote it like that. Now we're into 1984. You want to hear the song again? Palantir TV. Palantir surveil you and me. Maybe I'll make the lyrics better. Palantir surveilling you and me. Well, anyway, Palantir wants to raise a lot of money. All their surveillance cameras and flock cameras are simply to raise money. That money is to be used for buying politicians, bureaucrats, judges, and all the things they want. They are not for solving crimes. They are not for taking illegal persons off our streets and making the country safer. And if you, even a glass eye and a duck's ass could see that. So, these people, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, George Soros, Mark Andreessen, Ben Horowitz, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Larry Fink, Satya Nadella, and Tim Cook. They are, and Epstein. They're on the top 10 most influential figures in U.S. corporate and political spheres. So that's how they got on my list, and that's why I read their names. But I really get to going crazy on Elon Musk because he acts just like Thomas Jerome Newton. He wants to get back to the planet he came from. He only came here because this is a planet full of water, and he wants to get back to his wife, who are dying on their planet that's run out of water. So he came here to get water. I don't know how he plans on filling up his spaceship with water and taking back a lifetime supply back to his planet for his wife and children, but I speak out of turn. It has nothing to do with taking water back to his wife. It has to do with his wife. And you will read about the wife of the Antichrist in this book, Antichrist Apologist. And for those of you who are already Antichrists, now you know I know about your wife. Anyway, for those of you who have not seen The Men Who Fell to Earth, I highly recommend it. You can, wow, gosh, doesn't everybody have a TV these days where they can queue that thing up and pay for it? Or at least on your computer, go to Amazon. I know it's on Amazon. Get an account, go to Prime Video, and in there you'll find The Men Who Fell to Earth. I know I did. I got a lot of movies with a lot of secrets in them that you haven't, that all these people that review movies, you haven't even begun. So I shall do the starting. I hope my books are helpful. I plan on writing a book with this information I have on Nick Land. I'm going to talk about how he influenced Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. I'm going to talk about George Soros and how he crashed, of course, the market in the United Kingdom. And there's some people here, venture capitalists in Silicon Valley, whom I don't know anything about. Maybe I'll pass on them. Mark Zuckerberg. Gosh, can you get Facebook uninstalled off your phone? Metadata. Palantir. Well, why don't you solve this symbol they use for Palantir? Peter Thiel just loves Lord of the Rings. That's an Antichrist's only thing that's really theirs. The Man Who Fell to Earth. If you will watch and listen to this movie, you will see things that will explain Antichrists very well. I put it in my book. I'm not going to give away everything. Otherwise, why write the book? Why buy it if I tell you everything? Um, but yes, overall, I'm sorry I didn't do any research, but there was a relic from a UFO crash was recovered and deciphered to say essentially that humans must advance. And if you want to take advice from aliens who are godless, maybe 3 feet tall, spindly, barely have legs, a body, and arms, a head that's too big. Maybe some people have noticed they float. Their eyes are too big. And as far as abduction stories go, they get right in your eyes with eyes as big as my glasses and stare into your eyes, which apparently these poor abducted people, like, I guess they can't close their eyes, but you know what they're doing? They're controlling you. They're reading your mind. They're getting what they want and they're making you forget at the same time. This is a nightmarish experience this whole planet is experiencing. And ultimately, um, any push towards the future, this rushed push towards the future, I object to. I'm going to write about going backwards. I'm going to write about going slow. I'm going to write about stop being rushed. Russians, I don't mind Russian people, but don't rush me. Don't rush in here and rush me. And don't do it to humanity, and don't do it to people, and don't do it to family, and don't do it to anybody. Let them take their time. Give people you love all the time they need. Being rushed is being taken over. So, this philosophy is very dangerous. It is not just words. And so, what I wanted to say about aliens again was when we think of grays and spaceships and maybe witnesses who were they got caught, they got frozen or paralyzed, and maybe they could see but they couldn't move their body. Either they were hiding, they were outside and they saw something, or came across an area and it was still they still saw the spaceship, and they were got caught in a beam of light or something, memory loss, time loss, this, that, and the other thing. Well, as far as aliens go, speaking of grays, well, I don't like them. If you want to talk nice and pretty about how some of them are tall and blonde, blue-eyed and graceful and kind, and I'm like, just drop it. That's just that is what did they say? There are genuine UFOs that are from other galaxies, and then there are UFOs that are made right here on planet Earth by Raytheon, uh, Groom Lake, Area 51, made by human beings using reverse technology. And yes, that is true. I forget what those are called, but anyway, they're fake UFOs, and yes, they do have them. So my point is real aliens are grays, and they're very nasty. And there are taller, bigger aliens. But as far as the beautiful ones with the beautiful eyes, um, We're getting there. Um, I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm saying that they're kind of like the Trojan horse because what's really happening is that these antichrists are getting more and more beautiful. And they do it because they take life force from the living to get that way. More in my book about that. Maybe I should have written fiction like Frankenstein or uh, um, who wrote? There's Frankenstein, and then there's vampires. Uh, Mary Shelley and uh, who wrote Dracula? Bram Stoker. There it is. Sometimes takes me a minute. Anyway, so I'm not into writing fiction, but I think I'm going to put together something about how these weirdos, top 10 moguls, billionaires, trillionaires, presidents, uh, uh, guys who want to send rockets to Mars and accelerate, push upon humanity in a rushed way the idea of accelerating technology faster than it should be. You know, that they are wrong, that that is evil, and there's a reason behind it. And the acceleration reason is this is that you're supposed to take your time. You're supposed to say to other people, take your time. When people ask you, what time is it? Tell them, get it yourself. You know, you don't have to answer that question. It's a killer. And that's why I wrote my book, Spark Shock. Take your time. Be certain. No room for faith. Be only certain. I will tell you the truth. There is no complexity theory. Where was that? I read that in that Nick Land. Right here. I circled it in red. Complexity theory. Right, right. Variety of sources: futurism, technoscience, philosophy, mysticism, numerology, complexity theory, and science fiction. Well, F you. I've been through the labyrinth and it is not complex. Nothing is. Of this, I am certain. I am not made of faith. I am made of certainty. Believe it. 100% certainty. Right here. And so, as time goes faster, which is one of my lyrics in the song. I wish it had been a little bit more prominent. The time they are speeding up and changes cost a hefty fee. The times they are speeding up. I wish you could hear that better, but have you ever heard the theory that time is speeding up? The first time I heard it was it was a call in on um, a very famous person's internet website I'm not going to say his name, but people were calling in, and he mentioned that this was 2002 or three, and he mentioned he too noticed that time was speeding up, and so I take these words to heart, and it's only been 20 years, but now I'm starting to hear reports from galactic observers that we are losing, our days are shorter. Time is speeding up. Our days are shorter. Something to do with celestial movement, but time is speeding up, and if you'll read Spock Shock, you'll understand that there's a certain person that can actually do such a thing. And with the success of the Devil's Plan and his accomplishment to go out with a big bang, it's called 9/11. You can bet time is speeding up since he accomplished the downing of the Twin Towers. So if Peter Thiel wants to scare you about Armageddon, well, forget about it. We've already been scared. He wants to weaponize it. Tell him to F off. We're already in it. We're already fighting. I hope you're fighting. At least developing strength, at least developing certainty. Certainty, you can get that at my channel, Tinger Wyndham. Anyway, more about aliens. Okay, you've got the grays, and then you got the taller, bigger grays with the big eyes that stare at you, put you on the slab, and all that stuff. But there have been some witnesses about grays, and what I want to tell you about aliens is that I believe it when they say humanity must advance. Okay, if alien agenda is the same as Nick Land's agenda, which is the same as Peter Thiel's agenda, and Elon Musk's agenda, then why are we being rushed into advancing, pushed, rushed? You know, why are they taking your time? They're taking your time. Anything that takes your time, rushes you, pushes you, scoots you along. Hey, when your mother helps you get dressed fast in the morning and scoots you out the door, that's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about deliberate attacks on you with philosophy, concepts, ideas that they push. Oh, we've got to get this done. We've got to reach for the stars to dream the impossible dream. You know what the impossible dream is? Anything without God is impossible. You want to reach the stars? If you don't ask God to help you to do that first, you're never going to get there. These people rushing you is so that you won't think of God first before you think of something glamorized like getting in that. What did Jeff Bezos call his blue something or another? Basically, an elevator that goes up 60 miles or something, then comes back down. It's like, well, thanks, Jeff Bezos, but hey, you got basketball players that come down, get their award, or get in front of the news and media people. I'd like to thank Jesus Christ for helping me win this basketball game today. Blah blah blah. At least they thank their Savior. But I don't see Jeff Bezos saying I'd like to thank Jesus Christ, or I'd like to thank God for helping me reach the heavens. I'd like to thank God for helping me build a rocket ship that can for multi-use, multiple times usage. Said Elon Musk. We can go up and down, a little bit of maintenance, and we reusable space rockets. We can go up and down to the heavens and oh God, so many people theorizing. Oh well, maybe they're interdimensionally traveling and they're already at Mars. And I'm like, well, you ain't got me, Elon Musk. So it's happening here and it's happening now. And I'm telling you, it already happened. So don't get scared when they start pushing you, rushing you, taking your time, asking you what time it is, and making you scared. That's what they do. They don't say, take your time, learn this, learn that. They push it on you. They're rushing you. They're forcing you to believe in this philosophy without God. It means nothing. There's no God out there. They're not looking for God in outer space. You think they're looking for God in outer space? Let me tell you a secret. They know God is not in outer space. Okay, I haven't written the answer to that, but I will. I guarantee you I will. I'm looking forward to that one. I seem to have come up with this one on this list of bad guys that want to make a quick maybe AI assisted book about. There's arrow on my head. Anyway, but about again about aliens. I am trying to make a point in that uh, real aliens seem to have are godless, hopeless, ugly, short, thin, have no desire to have bulk or legs or eat. They're like the grays, maybe 3 feet. Maybe 3 feet tall. Are my lights working? Maybe 3 feet tall. Anyone who's ever had them show up in their bedroom, nothing but terror. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about abductions. I'm here to talk about just look at what they look like. Ugly, hairless, short, spindly legs and arms, no shoulders, no strength. Do they walk? Do their legs move? Or do they just kind of hover and float? Are they mostly head? Yes. Do they eat? Some people have said they like strawberry ice cream. But what can you tell from looking at a body like that? A, they have no interest in bodies like ours. They may, in fact, may not be able to reproduce. Also, they may not eat. They may not have stomachs or the hollow system, such as mouth, esophagus, stomach, intestines, and exit hole. Your backside. They may, in fact, despise the human body, which would be the end result, and prepare yourself for this. This kind of body, these kind of bodybuilding, they built their body to be like this because why? They hate the body, the bodily functions. It's too gross for them. And more importantly, they do not want to die and reincarnate and start over as a blank like you and I and all human beings do when we are born. We are born, we grow, we die, and we are born again, and we're blank nothings again. Aliens, real ones, disagree with God so much they hate him, they don't mention him, they don't like him. All they do is want to use all the power that they can. The power of the ring, not God, power. Pure power, power only, not the power of God, not power in the name of God, not power to find God, but power to subdivert and redirect around God, to find a way to live forever without having to die and start over again with a blank mind and a childhood with no memory of your previous life. So, how do you do that? Eliminate body parts. A repulsion to eating and digesting and elimination. So they what's the word? Deformed. Uh, uh, well, anyway, if you wonder what they're doing out there in their spaceships, abducting people and maybe growing fetuses, what do you think they may be trying to do since they don't reproduce? Has anyone ever mentioned reproductive organs on those naked aliens? I mean, do any of them wear clothes? That is, if you've ever read any books about real sightings of aliens and graves and stuff, they don't wear clothes. They don't have gender. They may not be able to reproduce, which is why they have and grow baby factories. And they may actually be able to transfer their consciousness into their little spindly little bodies, but they have such a hatred for and disgust of reproduction, eating, time limitation factor on a, a, a bioorganism that they reject God. They don't approve of his reincarnation. Reincarnation is a fact, folks. You're going to die sometime in the future, and you're going to reincarnate, and you're going to be a blank. You won't remember anything that you learned in this lifetime. Maybe some people, I've heard some stories. But anyway, you're going to grow up, you're going to have a childhood, and you're going to have to learn it all over again. And people who know that this is a fact reject it. I myself don't like it. I disagree with God. And I know who he is. I can talk. Doesn't mean I don't love him. I'll follow him anywhere, obviously. But some people, they'll do anything. And that's what they're pushing on you, is to accelerate the agenda of you disliking your body, which is where the transhumanism agenda is, why it's being pushed on you, why they're actually consulting, counseling your kids without your knowledge while they're in public school, and teaching them that they are not the gender that they're born, and teaching them to, oh, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Oh. Teaching them to hack off body parts. Excuse me. Teaching them to hack off body parts. Won't be long before that'll be norm. Won't be long before getting rid of your internal organs will be the norm. Soon, they'll be hacking off legs and you'll be 3 feet tall. You won't need but one lung, maybe a little pump. And that's why they've been known to move so slowly is they don't have enough energy and enough body mass to move quickly. What they did choose, however, was mental and brain control and ability. They sacrificed their body. If you recall a Star Trek episode where these personalities lived inside of globes, and the regular Star Trek, you know, Spock, Bones, and Kirk all went there, and this one benevolent big guy that lived in a globe introduced himself, and a couple of the other guys in living in globe said, "We would like to try and live in your body, if only for a short while, so we could experience the joys of the flesh." Well, besides that whole Star Trek thing, my point is that transhumanism is headed in that direction. Take it from me. I know Spock. That's where it's going. That's where the idea came from. It came from Spock, who told it to Gene Roddenberry, who put it in an episode of Star Trek. That's why you should read Spock Shock. These ideas, such as the Federation, there really is a Federation and a Prime Directive out there from Star Trek. Please read my book, Spock Shock. But ultimately, what happened is being a consciousness stuck in a globe is too limiting. What you see when you see or see drawings or have imaginings of gray aliens, or the bigger ones, they say, which are the ones that are usually the captains of the ship when the little aliens, the grays, come and abduct you, and you go up to the big ship, and a bigger alien is there, and he's the one leaning over you while you're on the slab, etc., etc. Anyway, they're bigger ones, but the grays, the little ones, basically what you're seeing is instead of going all the way to just being a consciousness inside a globe, they figured out that they need at least the minimum, the bare minimum of a body in order to walk across the face of whatever planet they're on. You have to be able to amble, walk, traverse, get from point A to point B, slow as they may go, or as brain phased, brain locked they may have been experiencing. Some people who have witnessed this saying that the grays, they move very slow, they're very spindly, but they have big heads. Well, they have big heads because they have big brains, because they want to live in their mind, and they want their brains to get bigger and bigger and full of more knowledge, and they have more knowledge, and they want more knowledge. They want to assimilate, just like the Borg, more and more knowledge, except that as their brains and their heads get bigger, they found that they couldn't just live or exist as a mind. They had to have at least the minimum of a body to get from point A to point B, which is why you see 3-foot tall grays, and they do not care for eating, sex, physical performance, going fast. No, they have powers uh, and technology, and ability to build technology, um, uh, which is what we're for, as far as I can tell. They come down here with the technology, like the man who fell to earth, Thomas Jerome Newton, played by David Bowie. They come here with superior technology. They tell us how to do it. And then all they want to do is live in their uh, live in their mind. Their body is a burden to them. Let me explain. Their body is a burden to them. I have stated that they prefer small bodies, spindly legs, barely, maybe half a lung if they breathe at all, no mouth, no reproductive organ. They hate the body. They despise it, but they had to have the minimum of it, one, to get from A to B. So they use their mental ability to stun people's brains. So you won't remember them, and you'll believe that bullshit lie like, don't be scared, we won't hurt you. Oh, yes, they're going to hurt you. They're going to hurt you. And also, um, so they dialed it back from that episode you saw where these entities were just globes and they wanted to occupy, Captain Kirk's body. And mm, that's an extreme. And but they dialed it back and came to the realization that they needed legs and arms and ability to do some functions, if only the minimum, which is why you see 3-foot gray bodies. And that's why aliens are like that. They're actually repulsed by biological functions that we call normal: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. They'd rather live in their mind with their memories. The question is, why would they rather live in their mind and their memories and be able to ignore the body? Well, the body is all distractions, and all distractions lead you away from God. Even having to get up and go to the restroom, if you're in your meditation position, you know, you know, chanting Om or whatever your meditation is, if suddenly you have to get up and go to the bathroom, that's a disruption. That's a distraction. You know, they don't like the body. They want to concentrate. They want to concentrate. They're doing their meditation. They live in their minds. They're smart. They do have that technology. They have that alien technology, and they got it, and they did it, and they did it by circumventing God. And I am going to tell you how they did that in my book, Antichrist Apologist, by me, Tinger Wyndham. Gosh, you can't even see. By me, Tinger Wyndham. But I'm not going to tell you how here on this show. It's transcendental. I know how they did it. There's a lot of things I don't know, but there are a lot of things I do know, and when I do know, I will tell you. Buy the book, read it. It will help you understand what I have to say in these live transmissions. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the song. It was fun to use AI to write a song. Boy, they so I can see some singers out there making a few bucks doing that. But anyway, I got my next project. I'm going to tie in these people all together and tell you ultimately that this plans to get off the face of the earth and onto another planet by destroying this one with Roundup, poison in the sky, you know, uh, not cloud seeding, but what are those? Uh, what? It's not cloud seeding. That's that's some other stuff. Or maybe they call it cloud seeding, and it's really just aluminum, blah blah blah. Chemtrails, chemtrails, Roundup, fluoride in the water to ruin your third eye. Um, all kinds of inoculations they give to any babies, children, and adults. It's all to keep you from God. And don't let them rush you. Don't let them push this. Humanity must accelerate its technology. You're in a slump. You're not going forward, you're going backwards. You're not hurrying up enough. You need to be smarter, faster, quicker. Use your brain. I didn't hear him say God anytime they ever told me that I should be smart and use my brain to earn a living. But that's the only way. That's the only way. That's the only way. And they are godless, and they've figured out how to live without God, and they resent the body, and they have no choice. They couldn't have a body if they wanted to, because they find it a burden. And if they're doing anything with chromosomes and DNA and abductions and fetus farms on those UFOs, it's to it's to make special, to make more of themselves, because they're who knows how long they've lived. How long does a body that doesn't need food but lives off of something else? Again, another topic. I can't and won't tell you about how they live off of others right now. Boy, is that another topic. But anyway, but yes, they need us. And yes, there are fetus farms, and yes, why would such an advanced civilization, advanced people, smart people, why are they such basic bitches dealing with reproduction, abducting people, male and female, and anal probing and doing stuff with their eggs and sperm, growing farms and farms of fetuses? How desperate can they be? How desperate are they? No bodies? They don't want bodies, but they had to have at least a little one. Why? Because they want to be all brains and all heads. Why? Because the body is a burden to them. And it's also a burden to, say, the likes of an earthbound antichrist. An earthbound antichrist is the type of person who is here to push the agenda of accelerationism so that they can get to not having a body which they see as a burden. The devil has told them that the body is a burden and that he will relieve them of it and give them not eternal life. That's too Christian. He will give them immortality. They may lose their bodies. It might be a 3-foot tall, ugly, hairless, gray thing. But, You'll live in your mind and you'll be smart and you'll have the power of God over human beings. And you'll have high technology and you can make people your slaves and you don't need a strong body for the the little hypnotic thing you can do to human beings and make them do what you want them to do and make them believe what you want them to believe. I'm saying don't believe it. Don't listen to them. Don't think it's a good thing. Don't think it's progress because it's not progress. This agenda is wrong. Aliens are wrong. You don't want a spindly little 3-foot body with a giant head. There's something else missing inside that body that I won't tell you about. We get into some serious scientific, God, and transcendental divine knowledge. Anyway, I might as well sign off. This is Tinger Wyndham. I hope you enjoyed my song. And, gee, stay here on Earth. Stay a human being. Don't sell your soul. And you won't have to fall to Earth. You won't have to float up and out and fall back down unnoticed every night and morning of your life. Don't listen. Don't listen to the Russian talk, the pushy talk, the technological dreams and advances and promises. Tell them to get stuffed. Ask them what time it is and see if they'll answer you. You take your time. And if they won't let you take your time, put them on your shit list. I'm going to sign out now. Thank you very much.